Alright guys, so while everybody is busy showing off their Legend Blues that came out this weekend and the hype is on the rise, me being true to myself, I'm bringing you another absolutely amazing Reebok Classic, a shoe that I just recently obtained, that I remember from back in the old days, and I still have a lot to talk about. And this particular pair is in absolutely pristine condition, being a 20-plus-year-old shoe. So let me just go ahead and show it to you. As you can see in this rather beat up box, classic early to mid 90s Reebok box, we have the Aurora mid. Let me show it to you here, the Aurora in the white and black colorway, of course my size. And you can see the early training shoes from Reebok had the sticker that says fitness. Later on they kind of transitioned them over to the preseason line, so all of them were kind of underneath that line, but before that it was just fitness. And the colorway is the white and black, absolutely classic, absolutely clean. Remember these just like yesterday, and let me just go ahead and open them and talk to you about it. Nothing too crazy on the box. The box is kind of actually smaller than what it deserves. Definitely today's box is a lot bigger. And we've seen that from pretty much every brand. But without further ado, let me just pull that sneaker out and start talking to you about it. Still original paper inside, by the way. How I know is those very translucent papers from the 90s. Pretty much all companies use those to wrap their sneakers with. Let me just place that box out of the way. Maybe here in the background a little bit. And onto the shoes. So in the fitness sort of world, back in the day, competition is pretty rough. Everybody was, competing to be the next Nike and top off their own sneaker models for training, but not a lot of companies actually managed to get close. The only one that got closer enough was Reebok. Of course, they never surpassed it, but regardless, they created so the top on the line one, the model that was representing the top of the line cross training model was the Graphite Pro. So the Graphite Pro incorporated almost every technology that Reebok had, minus the pump, of course. But they had the graphite shank, which was carbon fiber. Again, Reebok was the first company to ever use and utilize carbon fiber plates in their sneakers. They had the hexalite, and they used premium materials. So back in 94, 95, I actually got the Graphite Pro model, which was amazing. I wore that for years and wore it to the ground. It was absolutely amazing model. And actually this Aurora comes from the same line, same year, along with that Graphite Pro. So we had the Graphite Pro, we had the Satellite, which was the toned down version of the Graphite Pro. Sorry, I can't talk to that apparently. Which was pretty much the same shoe minus the graphite. They had the hexalite, and then the lower tier of the line and the cross trainers was the Aurora, because the Aurora had neither graphite or hexalite. It was just relying on the EVA for the cushioning. But regardless, they're extremely comfortable, and when I tell you extremely comfortable, believe me, even today these are more comfortable than most of my retro Jordans, just to name one brand, but Nikes and some Reeboks as well, even without any sort of a responsive technology. Anyway, real quick, back to my story. I had the Graphite Pro, the very famous model with the little hole here on the tongue, where the graphite started from here and extended, and it was actually shown on this side as well. The suspended hexalite, there was top-loaded hexalite above the midsole. The graphic print on the side was absolutely amazing for those days. To see so many colors on the shoe, it was just not something very common. So these were just absolutely amazing. I wore them for literally years and years, and they were still amazing by the time they actually fell apart. But back to these, and I'm just gonna point a few things, guys. Keep in mind that this shoe is the lowest tier possible back in the day. There was the shoe strip Tavernier technology, the cheapest. This one probably ran around somewhere between $60 and $80 retail at that time. And this shoe is absolutely amazing. Just the materials used. First of all, full grain leather all around. Of course, minus the this synthetic, not sort of a mesh, but it's synthetic material that a lot of runners and cross trainers used back in the day, which I absolutely love. It's kind of shiny, but very soft and plush. But peek on the materials here. I mean, this is a full grain leather all around. Toe box, side panels, around the heel. Another thing, the top tier models like the Graphite Pro and the Satellite, they had the Reebok logo here stitched. The Aurora only painted. Again, one thing that lowers down the price for these, but at the same time, their overall quality is just amazing. I mean, look at it. This is 20 plus years old shoe, and there's literally no yellowing on the midsole at all. No cracking. I mean, I push as hard as I can. As you can see, no crumbling or anything like that. Not to mention that there is no sole separation at all. You can see I push as hard as I can on the side, which is clear indication here if you have an older shoe and you push and it the glue is not bonding together, it's just going to separate. These ones are staying together. Amazing the way they were preserved, and overall is for somebody that's looking to buy a shoe off eBay that's very old. The ones that are with a leather upper usually tend to get preserved better compared to the ones with the nubuck. I'm speaking from my personal experience. Nubuck is just, of course, most of it is synthetic nubuck. They tend to dry out and start crumbling, even on the upper, and with age, and if you not wear them and all that, if you not properly store them. But leather, it's very, very resistant on pretty much all conditions. So that being said, getting these, I knew even from the pictures that they're going to be in perfect condition. Again, padding, very significant here. As you can see, they're still factory laced. This is how, I said that many times in my videos, this is how the shoes came back in the day. They were either just laced down for the first lace loops, and then maybe the last one, just like on cross, and that was it. And the rest of it was your job to figure it out how to lace your shoes on your own special way. Reebok here, a logo, but the logo is on this sort of a label that extends on the back, and here is what it says on the back. I hope the camera picks it up. Okay, so it says dedicated to creating tomorrow's dreams, manufacturers of the athletic shoes since 1895, and then the same one in French right here. Label for the sizing, made in Indonesia, with the tags and codes, and of course I cannot read those old ones when exactly it was produced, but I know the year the model came out. As you can see, intact insole with Reebok logo, and this insole actually is one of those top performance insoles that they pushed out back in the day. Polyurethane insole. Unfortunately, it's glued in, so I cannot pull it in. But right here, where your arch sits, it's like dual density of the normal insoles. It forms a little arch. If you see one of my old videos, I actually pulled some of those out in different models, and it's absolutely comfortable and very, very supportive for your arches. And back to the upper again. I mean, I wish that the camera picks up all the detailing and makes a good credit of the shoe, but it's just such a soft leather. I mean, this is exactly how I felt holding them in my hands 20 years ago when I was going to the stores and picking up those shoes in my hand. And now I never had a chance to actually buy them, just, you know, held in my hands. Here, as you can see on the toe lip, there's, let me see if I can, the camera picks it up. Yep, it says Reebok right here, and right here as well. Where on the Graphite Pro, this portion actually was totally missing in that. There was the graphite shank right there. I can see the, you know, the design resemblance of the top level shoe, but regardless, these are extremely comfortable. I'm so glad to get them, and I got them for like a steal price, you know, $50 for these shipped. It was absolutely mind-blowing. I would have paid a lot more just knowing the quality of these shoes. I mean, the smoothness of this leather, anybody, even people that are not very familiar with qualities and all that stuff, they will recognize the difference between these and newer retros. And that comes to say again, you know, yeah, we're paying $200 today, plus or minus tax on shoes that are made out of far less quality materials, and people usually don't complain because they don't know the difference. But if you have a pair like that in your hands and you see how soft this leather is and how nice and plush, definitely is going to change your perspective and opinion. I mean, I've been long enough alive and around in the sneaker world to make the difference. That's why my purchases are usually made with a lot of reason, and I don't follow the hype, and I suggest and advise everybody to do the same. Like what you buy what you like. Go for the things that you definitely like and you remember or you have special feelings for. Don't follow the hype. It's destroying not only the sneaker world and enthusiasm and everything else, but it makes companies raise their prices and lower their qualities. That's my my little quick rant, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks again for your support. Thanks for all the subscribers. Stay tuned to the channel. As you can see, I'm trying to bring as much knowledge as I can, show you models that are not hyped and you can probably never see anywhere around the internet being shown or reviewed. And I'm gonna stay true to myself. So if you like this kind of things, if you like to be different, keep following my YouTube channel, of course Instagram and all that stuff. Of course, stay tuned to collectivekicks.com for more sneaker news, reviews, and history articles.